think Carver 2 is making very good progress. You can see the advantages that we've had in looking at different markets other than just looking at high quality cassava flour. So we've seen some very interesting progress in Tanzania, where they've developed a new market for cassava flour going into animal feed. We've seen some very good progress here in Nigeria, where the starch and ethanol industries are being supported in sourcing high quality planting material and also roots from farmers groups. I think that each of our countries has some good progress to report. However, a number of things have particularly caught my attention this year. One is in Nigeria, where the production of high quality cassava flour is already close to the target for the year, and we've seen the new starch and ethanol uses for cassava roots really taking off. It's also nice to see some of the improved versions of traditional products taking off across the different countries. In Uganda, we've seen the beer sector being supported by the farmers groups that the project's supporting. So it's that overall what strikes me is the diversity of use of cassava using the overall model behind the Carver project. So the second phase of the Carver project builds on the project led by the Natural Resources Institute. The aim of that project was to improve smallholder incomes who depend on cassava as part of their livelihoods. I think the focus on cassava is the right focus, and it targets some of the poorest in our communities, and I hope that the Carver 2 project's impact will be enormous. So the big difference between Carver 1 and Carver 2 is that Carver 1 which is focused on high quality cassava flour. In Carver 2 we've built upon that work, maintained the momentum, grown the markets, but we've also brought in the options for other uses of cassava to meet new markets, new commercial demand, new industrial demand. And I think in the future this variation in demand, these different market opportunities will be what brings additional income to smallholder households. The Natural Resources Institute provides support to the Carver 2 project in a number of different ways. At one level, we provide monitoring, evaluation, leadership across all 5 countries, with Ola Ogunyinka based here in Nigeria. I provide some strategic advice to the Carver project, and my colleagues at the Natural Resources Institute provide demand-led technical and backstopping support on various issues that the Carver team in the different countries needs. And this may range from business planning to market analysis to very technical issues on the uses of cassava and how it's processed, to the design of flash dryers, through to some of the more social aspects, such as the role of gender and diversity in the project and how we can meet those gender and diversity targets that we have in our log frame. The SMEs in the value chain, to me, provide an important linkage between the smallholder farmers and the end-use industries. I think it's really important that these small and medium-scale enterprises really understand what the markets are for their products and the diversity that exists in those markets and the kind of prices they can look to, etc., etc. They also need to run good businesses. That means they need to understand their costs, and they need to be able to, for example, know when to invest in new machinery, and know how to keep, for example, their fuel costs low. So these are all important things. But importantly, I think they need to recognise, I'm sure they do recognise, the value of purchasing cassava from smallholder farmers, and support that they can provide to them in terms of guidance, in terms of what kind of varieties to grow, anything like that would be very much appreciated. So I think that these SMEs play a very important role in integration within the value chain. So on behalf of my colleagues at the Natural Resources Institute, I'd just like to thank all the stakeholders in the Cassava Adding Value for Africa Project Phase 2 for their support. I look forward to working with you all in the future so that we can realise our overall objectives of increasing the incomes, improving the livelihoods of smallholder farmers who depend on cassava.